Sadhguru Nath Maharaj Ki Jai, and welcome to Jagadambe Reads the Holy Books of India, Bhaktavijaya441. As you may remember, Santoba was joined by 2,000 pilgrims on the way to Pandari, and the river was in spate, and the people got really anxious. Seeing this, all became anxious. They said, if we are not able to cross the river today, we shall not be able to reach Pandari tomorrow. It seems the husband of Rukmini will not let us have a vision of him on Ekadashi day. While they were talking in this way, they reached the bank of the river and said, if there were at least one boat, we would all go over to the other bank of the river. At this, the Bhakta Santoba thought to himself, if we care for our body, how shall we be able to see Bhagavat, God? Therefore, having decided in his heart that Sri Hari is both the savior and also the killer, he went into the water at once and walked on. A Vishnu Bhakta is devoted and loving, and water cannot drown them. The water reached to his calves only. Santoba took his veena in his hand and began to sing the praises of God, and he was able to cross the river at once. When the other pilgrims saw this wonder, they began to say, how are you going alone to the other side of the river and leaving us all here? Believing you to be the image of God himself, we came in your company, but fate destines it otherwise, for we have not the good fortune to go to the other side. We had heard of your incomparable reputation, and thus intended to go to Pandharpur in your company. Now we will all go back. Hearing the pilgrim's statement, he stood in the water and put his hands up. Listen to what he said. Oh, men and women of all castes, even the quadrupeds, the great and the small, do not ponder, but follow me at once. Entertain no fear at heart, for the Lord of Pandari will save you. At this assurance, all were comforted. They said to one another, because Santoba is going to Pandari, he found the water knee-deep only. Let us follow him. They put their loads on their horses, and all the pilgrims got up in a moment and went one after another until they reached the river. Seeing this, the Lord of Pandari thought to himself, the river is in flood, and all will be drowned. Santoba repeats my names, therefore he could get across. But all are not like him. They will not float like wood, but will sink like stones if I do not rush to their help. My Bhakta's promise will be falsified. And if the pilgrims are drowned, who will come to visit me? The wise will then consider the words of past saints false. Hear what the life of the world did after saying this. God as a tortoise carries pilgrims across the river. The God of gods, by whose help all beings in the universe live, became a tortoise in order to take all the pilgrims on his back over to the other bank. The bed of the river was very wide, therefore the husband of Rukmini became as large as that. The Lord of the world evades the disasters of his bhaktas in various ways. The Lord of the world is revered by Brahmadev and others, and Shiva contemplates him at heart. He carried the pilgrims on his back. This, to me, is most wonderful. Well, all the men and women, small and great, of all the 18 castes, loudly shouted the names of God and walked all together. The Vaishnava Bhaktas loaded their horses and bullocks and shouted loudly the names of God and went into the water. They found the water only knee-deep, at which all wondered and said, we were detained for nothing. Sadhguru Nath Maharaj Ki Jai. Thank you for coming. I hope you come again.